Well, looks like another nice day ahead, but no rain, and we could use some. The water level is perfect right now, but if we don't soon get some precipitation, we may end up with low levels. Well, hopefully not. Because the ground is so dry right now, what I'm thinking about doing is getting my fire pump out and water things down. The garden needs it, and what little grass I have needs it. And that would go a lot quicker with the fire pump than trying to hose everything down or use the lawn sprinkler. So I think that's what I'll do now. Kind of hard to manhandle this pump by myself, so I used a hand cart and had a little rope on it there, so I don't need to hold the pump while I tip the hand cart back. It works pretty good. The suction line for this old fire pump has to be, has to be rigid so that it doesn't collapse when it starts sucking water up to supply the pump. And also this fitting here needs to be snug. It can't allow any air into the pump because it'll just cavitate and it won't pull the water up good and tight. There we go. Now we'll go and get some fire hose, hook it up. Volunteer firefighter for many years, 25 of them probably. Oh, knew some guys in the department and so forth. So when they retired these pumps, I managed to get a hold of them, and I fixed them up and got them running. And they're good for fire protection for myself and some folks around the islands on the South Bay here. And they're kind of fun to work with anyway, and they serve dual purposes. So I have this 100-foot hose, and most of the ones I have are 50 feet. But this 100-foot covers a good area around the old cottage. So it's a handy one. I'll go and see if we can get that pump to run. I'll throw a little bit of gasoline in it, although I don't think I'll be running it for long. I already had a half a tank in it. Never fails. Always spill a bit of gasoline. You think after all these years I'd know better and be more careful, but I didn't. So the next thing I have to do is get it started. But before I get it running, I'll explain the principle of priming this pump. Now, in order to get this pump to prime, you have to have some water in there or create a vacuum to pull the water up through the suction line. So what they do is they use a Venturi effect using the exhaust from the engine. So this particular tube leads to the pump assembly, and this opens up that pipe and it goes to the exhaust. And this lever blocks off the exhaust flow to a point, and that creates the exhaust to come out down this pipe below. So when you open this valve, what it does is it creates a Venturi effect through here, because as the exhaust goes past here, it creates a vacuum in this line. So when the engine's running and you open up that valve, and when you start to see water coming out of here, you know that it's pulled water into here. And you have to kind of relieve the exhaust a little bit at the top too, because if you hold it down super tight, it could stall the engine. So anyway, usually when you see water spitting out here, you can close off this valve and then release that exhaust, and then it should start pumping. So we'll see how that works out. So this old machine, it has a tendency of the ignition points getting rust developed on them, and it doesn't have a spark. But it if it does have spark, it's usually not too hard to start. So I'll put the choke on here. I've already added a little bit of throttle here. So we'll give it a pull and see what happens. Hopefully she'll go. First pull. Now let's see if we can get some water up to it. We'll open this valve. And the hose is full. We got pressure in our line. We should be spraying water here very shortly. I've only got two hands. Put this down for a second. Yeah, success. Now I have to be careful because I have power lines over top here that if I have a solid stream, it could transmit that energy from those power lines down to my hand. Certainly don't want that. So when you're around power lines with a hose, don't have it on a solid stream. Now that old pump, it's just running barely above idle, and it's pumping a tremendous amount of water. If I was to run it up to full throttle and open up this, I'd have a hard time hanging on to that line and be wanting to pull it out of my hands. So it develops a lot of pressure. Well, I can water my garden with this. It'll only take a few minutes because there's lots of volume. But this bush area underneath these pines is really dry, and I want to get this all wet down. It'll take a lot more water than my garden will. Anyhow, I'm going to go and carry on and do up the rest of the yard, get this done. Like a high volume pressure washer. Get all that pine stuff off the grass and wet it down at the same time. So the way these nozzles work, as you can see, I've got it set for stream. When it's set for stream, what it does is it restricts the flow a little bit and it channels the water flow into that stream. But when you change it, see if I can do this one-handed here. When you change it to a spray like this, what it does, it spreads out the water flow, but it also reduces the pressure. So you get more flow. There's actually more water coming out of the hose at this point than what there is at a stream. So if you don't have to shoot it too far and you want to water things, you're best off to use a spray pattern. And also what happens when you use a spray pattern is it pulls the air. It creates a vacuum behind it because it's pushing water along with air and you can feel it behind you. And firefighters use this concept to ventilate a building. So what they'll do is they'll stick it into a window or a doorway and they'll put it on a fog pattern like that, and it'll suck fresh air into a building to ventilate out smoke so they can see what they're doing. That's enough for now. Time to take a break. Got everything hosed down. And I put it on so fast that it probably didn't give it a chance to really soak in, so I'll give it another dose tomorrow. And maybe the day after that too. Anyway, set this thing down. It doesn't have an off switch. And I should do that. It's easy enough to do. I'm going to short out the spark right to ground so it doesn't go across the gap of the spark plug. Makes it stop. That's the other pump I have. It's a little bit different, but it's essentially the same thing. Just done up by a different manufacturer. Same engine. I think it might be even the same pump, but a little different setup in the exhaust venturi and the outlet for the supply. Yeah, anyway, I got it going. It runs good too now.